Gently.
Lovingly, yeah. With all due care. All right, let's do the show. Here comes the deal. It's time. Oh, got to mark it. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we've done pre-show marking. All right, okay. And now we're recording properly. And the whole damn thing begins in 3, 2, 1.
Look, officer, you have no right insulting my client. You have nothing on him.
And yes, we have. We have many things on him. And this client of yours is going to need more than a lawyer to clean up his shit.
He came to apologize and make out with tongues.
The morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream,
The morning stream. It is the end of the beginning.
the morning stream, the morning stream.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to TMS. It's Tuesday, April 11th, 2023. I'm Scott Johnson, and that is Brian Ibbett. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning to you. Morning.
I had to talk to 3 new Brians yesterday.
Oh my God, 3 brand new Brians?
Yep, I got a commission I'm working on for somebody, doing some art for somebody. His name is Brian with a Y, but still, pronounced Brian. Another Brian who's working, he's my accountant's, some sort of assistant role at my accountant's office. Had to deal with him for tax stuff. And then we had a Brian do our aeration.
Wow.
Yeah. Look at the diversity of Brians.
No kidding. Oh, I can't wait to talk to these guys at the convention. It's going to be so cool to
Yeah.
say, hey, I hear all 3 of you just worked with Scott in Utah.
You gonna keynote
They
at
say,
that
we
thing?
know like 45 Scotts. Tell me which one you're talking about.
You should keynote at that event. You should be the the hot Brian of the week. You know?
Being a Brian means different things. Hold on a second. That's not the right. Let's do.
It's not bad. It sounds like kind of a half-empty convention room.
It's this is kind of like, this is kind of bathroom, the bathroom one.
I like it.
All right. Thank you guys all for coming. I'm in a larger bathroom now.
Woo, Brian, woo!
Being a Brian comes with it some very important responsibilities.
Yeah. Preach it, Brian!
Yeah. I know some of you are waiting to go to the keynote session about with a Y or with an I. Don't worry, we'll wrap up before that. But
show us your boobs. I would yell from the 20th row.
Yeah. Who would be who would be the ideal keynote speaker at a Brian convention? Would it be Brian Dennehy, Brian Brown, Brian?
Well, they're both dead.
Blessed.
We got to find. They're all 3 dead.
Those 2 out.
Man, all 3
Brian
are dead.
Blessed. Oh yeah, he's dead too. Yeah. Jeez.
Famous
Brian
Brian.
Cranston. Oh, Brian Cranston is.
Yeah.
He's good too. Maybe not Brian Williams.
Yeah.
Maybe not that one.
Maybe not him. Is he in trouble? I didn't know about him. Is he in trouble? That
Brian
guy?
Williams. He did the whole lying thing. The news. I was on a helicopter news.
Oh,
right?
Something in the second Gulf War
it's why
thing.
it's why we have Lester Holt doing the NBC Nightly News now.
That's right. I think his Brian Williams' daughter's doing better than he is in the public eye.
Brian Posehn is a good one. Brian Cox.
Yeah, Brian Cox is good. He could talk about this new season of Succession. You could do.
Brian Adams. Sure, he cuts like a knife, I hear.
I did a search for famous Brians, and it gave me a list of famous Ryans. That's stupid. Like really? I got Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, Ryan Seacrest, Ryan Coogler. I thought it was,
you know why?
Yeah.
Because even the least famous Ryan is more famous than the most famous Brian, sadly, right now.
The Ryans are always oppressing the Bryans. Is that what you're saying?
Listen, you got Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling. I mean, come on. There's Brian Cranston, I think, is our most famous Brian, and in the height of Breaking Bad, he could hold a candle to Ryan Reynolds, but sorry, the Ryan Reynolds kind of is the shit right now.
Yeah, and real quick, just to throw it out there, I screwed up. Brian Blessed is actually 86 and doing fine. He's alive.
Oh, good, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh.
I swear I heard he died.
Not kill Brian Blessed.
You know what I do? I mix him up with.
Gordon's alive.
That's the one. I mix him up with Hagrid, that guy that died, Robbie Coltrane.
Sure.
Yeah. For whatever reason, those two are the same dude for me sometimes in my head, and I don't know why. We got a new theory on
Brian
the.
May. Oh, Brian May's a very good Brian. Sean.
Oh, that's
Jeez.
a good Brian. We got some more. Probably some good song or music Brian's, including
Oh,
him.
heck yeah. Brian Eno, of course.
Yeah, you got your.
Nobody said Brian Boitano. Interesting. All right, fine.
Weird. Who's Brian Johnson? I don't know who that is.
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson. I know Ryan Johnson.
AC/DC? Am I thinking wrong? Isn't he?
No, he's
AC/DC.
Wait, is that right?
Yeah, I checked. He's vocalist for AC/DC.
Oh yeah, duh, Brian Johnson. Yeah,
yeah.
He's
it's like our show.
Yeah,
he's basically our show.
It just sounded wrong.
Like, when you said that, I was like, have I been getting his name wrong this whole time?
No, it wasn't ringing a bell. Oh, there's also the life of Brian. It's not really a guy though; it's a character.
They can't show up. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't count, I guess. Well, anyway, hey, we have a new theory on the misdemeanor deal. The guy yelling misdemeanor.
Let's hear it.
This is a text from Buffy Dino in our chat room, and it says this. It says you're sort of dog spurt. Is what she calls herself.
I love it.
Dog spurt.
Which I had to read 2-3 times to understand what she meant by that.
Yeah, because the whole sentence is, for morning stream, hi there, it's Elizabeth, a.k.a. Buffy Dino, for your frog pants sort of dog spurt, LOL. It's a weird sentence.
And dog spurt, I thought, oh, this sounds gross. I would have spelled it DOGXPERT, dog spurt.
Oh, I see.
As opposed to SPERT, which is like, watch out, don't step right there, there's some dog spurt.
Yeah, you don't want to. Who's cleaning up the dog spurt? It's not my turn. Anyway,
right.
Says, I have a theory about misdemeanor. What's your neighbor's pets' names? Maybe they were opening the door and they tried to get out and the person yelled, Mr. Neener or Mr. Meaner. So they got an. I don't think that's it.
The idea of a cat or a dog named Mr. Meaner.
Yeah.
Come on, Mr. Meaner.
Mr. Meaner. Where's Mr. Time to eat, Mr. Meaner?
That's middle of the night, though, right? Because it was like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, it was in the morning, and they also have no pets. So I hate to crush this theory, but they have no pets over there. They're the ones that used to have the big fat dog that pooped in my yard all the time, but they no longer have that dog, and no dog to speak of, or cat.
They neither take dogs nor leave dogs.
Yeah, they neither take dogs nor. We don't know what happened to that dog, but that was the impetus for our neighbor fight.
Yeah, that was the sure.
Yeah, everything's fine now. It's all good now. Although that guy in electric cars, he's got 2 Teslas, maybe 3. Can't remember if he kept the coupe or not. He has one. What's the Beamer electric, whatever that is, that weird looking Beamer, and he has 2 Chevy Volts.
Wow.
And one, what was the other one? Maybe the new Hyundai, some other electric.
And it's just the 2 of them in the house, right?
Them and their 2 kids. They have 2 little young kids, and
I imagine he's doing Turo. I mean, that sounds like someone who's renting all of those out.
Oh, that's an interest. I hadn't thought of that, because up till now I just thought, what are you doing? I know he knows someone at a dealership, and maybe just rotates through these. He also has a bunch of inheritance money. He just sort of spends on stuff. That's all I know for sure. He opened like a gaming cafe right before COVID, and then that all pooped out because of COVID.
Oh, that's too bad. God, wouldn't have been great if you could have like partnered up with him on that and
had an event there.
Well, or just been like a co-owner of a gaming cafe.
Oh, I'd love that.
Like it's a Scott Johnson thing right there.
But I don't know if me and Tesla can be partners.
Yeah, no, that would be
after our history.
Yes, it would have to be like, you going to the office today? Yep. All right, I'm staying home. You never see them both at the same time in the same place.
No, he has meetings with employees. I have separate meetings with them. We can't do it together.
Right. Exactly.
Well, anyway, nice stab at an idea, but unfortunately no dogs or cats, so the mystery goes unsolved. If anyone has any ideas, let us know. We'd love to hear it. We got some calls as well. These are always good to get. I like these.
Love it.
We got a Galactus idea. Here you go.
Hey, Scott and Brian. This is a message for TMS. This is Andy in Memphis, and I just wanted to throw in my vote for Galactus. I think the best guy who could portray the Purple Giant is Hugo Weaving. He's got a strong jaw. He can be menacing. He can be fierce. And I just think he would be really, really up for the task. So my vote would be for Hugo Weaving. I think he'd do great. Thanks, guys. Bye.
What do you think of that? What do you like about that?
Well, I mean, I know we've had other minor characters who've played dual roles in the MCU, but Red Skull would be a pretty major one to be both Red Skull and Galactus. I what I do like about that is that you could see the bottom half of Hugo Weaving's face and know it's Hugo Weaving, right? Because because Galactus's whole, like, you basically just see everything from the nose down.
And it's an angle one like that, right? It's like a TP on his nose.
So. I've got him over there. If you want me to grab Galactus, and I can bring him over and show him to you.
Grab Galactus.
Want me to grab my Galactus?
Yeah, grab Galactus, Brian. I want to see this. So I'm going to look him up too while you're doing that. Let's see here. Galactus headgear looks a little like. Oh, that's not him. That's Galactus. That's not him at all. All right, here we go.
A little dusty because he's been sitting on top of the deal. But yeah, he's okay. This is a big ass. This is a Build-A-Figure thing.
That is what is. So if you held that, you need the really tiny little MCU characters around him, right? Because that's got to. You have to show the difference.
Here's Galactus with Howard the Duck.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
That's a comparison.
Oh, the crossover I've been waiting for. Fantastic.
Who hasn't been waiting for that?
Yeah.
But anyway, Hugo Weaving is good. I mean, really, Steve Buscemi could pull off Galactus because, again, you're only seeing like a little bit of his face.
That's true, dude. So is that where we focus? Is that little section there? And then voice obviously matters. So you want to have the menacing
but then
thing.
they can do anything with the voice and CGI and stuff. I mean, Chris Eccleston, relatively vocally unrecognizable in Thor: Dark World. It wasn't until somebody reminded us, like, oh yeah, that is Chris Eccleston.
Yeah, we were
you see
in
a
the
lot
middle
more
of
in the face.
It was when we were watching it Saturday, or I guess Friday, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, that's Chris Eccleston." I was like, I couldn't tell until you said it. Like he really did disappear into that role pretty well.
He really did, but they can do stuff with the voice to make it somebody else. I don't know. I mean, it really Galactus could easily be a no-name actor that they bring in.
When they
really depends. Like
when they always show him grabbing a world or standing above a world or whatever.
Yeah.
Where's he standing? Is he floating out there?
He just floats in space, but he floats in an upright position, like he's. Yeah, he does. He has been shown to be standing on platforms, like a platform that, like a super Kirby-esque pipes coming out of everything platform that he flies through space on. But
and is he a Kirby creation? Did he make him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Had to be, right? Because he looks like
90% sure that he's. Sam Neill's not bad. Sam Neill would be a good.
Oh yeah, I could go for Sam Neill.
Oh, John Cena.
Maybe.
And that World Eater's name.
Yeah, I don't know if I could take him as serious as John Cena, though.
Yeah, that's true. You almost can't have a comedian. You couldn't have like Jack Black as Galactus.
Yeah. Had we not.
Oh, hey guys, I'm gonna be eating your planet.
I'm gonna be eating your planet.
Exactly.
I want to know if if we hadn't already used him and had such an amazing Thanos run, I think Josh Brolin could do it.
Oh, yeah.
We've
really used him as Cable as well, which with all that stuff, with Deadpool stuff folding into the MCU now.
Oh, right. That's a good point. Who did it? It was some totally different dude who played Red Skull in Endgame, right? That was
it's the guy who was in The Walking Dead who does amazing impersonations of other people. He's oh God, what was this guy is like, you got to watch videos of this guy doing impersonations of other actors that he's worked with.
Yeah.
Are you looking him up?
I'm trying. I'm not seeing him. But he can do anybody, basically.
He can do anybody. Ross Marquand. Thank you. Yes.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. I just found it. You know who I wanted? Okay, I've cast Galactus. Are you ready? Here it is.
Okay, all right.
It's Mark Strong. It was always Mark Strong. It'll always be Mark Strong. That's your guy.
Oh, not bad.
Got that big, cool, deep voice. Amazing square jaw. Strong, big, beefy. He's got a English accent, natural to him. Like, you just Mark Strong. You're done. You got it.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad. I like
do
Mark Strong. That's a great idea.
Yeah, he's awesome. I would love that. Oh, apparently I'm not alone. I just looked up Mark Strong Galactus, and there's all kind of fan.
A lot of people are already saying that. That's great.
Oh man, I was hoping I had a good idea there, but everybody else.
Yeah, he does the voice of the Immortal and Rudy in the Invincible animated series. By the way, we should be getting some more of that here pretty soon, right?
That should be soon. I think so. Season 2 was being worked on. I would hope so.
the voice of Ultron in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember Ultron and the. Oh, you see him in the alternate universe. Thinking like basically talking about defeats in other universes or something. No,
and he was there and was his. I don't remember him talking though. I guess maybe it must have been
I don't either.
Something small. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Talking about the Illuminati and stuff.
Is anyone not in the MCU? They're all in it.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot that need to be. I mean there's a lot that are, but I mean you think of like Liam Neeson and Liam Neeson.
Mainly, yeah.
Star Wars, DCU, but no MCU yet, right?
I don't think so, unless he did a voice of something, or maybe he has in a cartoon. But like live action, I can't think of anybody. You're not going to have Terrence Howard do it, Max Trollbot. Terrence Howard got fired by the MCU. He's not coming back. He's done.
Yeah, right. Former roadie Terrence Howard.
Yeah, and I like Terrence Howard as an actor. I just think he was a debutante and got kicked out for good reasons. But
right.
Ooh, Mark Strong's in the new upcoming Dune TV show. Channing Tatum. Oh, you guys, it's a terrible idea. No Channing Tatum.
No Channing
Although,
Tatum.
you know what? He's kind of a, you know what he'd be good? He'd be good as a Sentinel. Because they're kind of blank-faced, big, blocky, just
yeah, but you never see a
jarhead.
Sentinel's face. It's not like they're huge dudes wearing Sentinel costumes. Those are 100% CGI.
Yeah, of course. But it would be like in the same way that Thanos is, resembles Josh Brolin. You'd have it kind of look, be mocapped by him.
Those that want me to grab my Sentinel now, Scott?
Yeah, grab me a Sentinel, will ya? What do you got over there? Sentinel. Okay, I'm looking at one. I mean, I don't know. You could do this. Oh, yeah, they're like Iron Men, basically. They're like Iron Men, aren't they? They have, like, metal faces.
Yeah, they have metal faces.
Oh, yeah, that one's a cool one.
Yeah. He's flipping everybody off, too.
Where'd you get that guy? He's awesome.
He's another Build-A-Fig. Early days of Build-A-Fig had big figures you could build. Like now the Build-A-Figs are probably about half this size, but
wow. And
Warlock and stuff like this. But yeah, Galactus and the Sentinel were the two huge Build-A-Figs.
Interesting. Yeah, no Channing Tatum. You don't need him for that.
No, you don't need any actors for Sentinels.
No. But is there a Sentinel that's like, ooh, King Sentinel guy?
Master Mold.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah,
okay.
still a robot though.
Right.
And we had Dinklage as Trask, the creator of the.
And we had said that before. Like it would be funny to do it, but that would be twice now that they tried to be funny with a little person being a giant.
Yes, having Dinklage as a Galactus or as
you can't do that twice.
As Master Mold or something. Yeah.
Yeah, you do that twice, you're starting to look like you got one joke to make, and it's not it's not the best joke, I guess. All right, we got another call here about it's about itching. All right, so let's check this out.
Hey, Scott, I keep forgetting to call, but a few weeks ago you mentioned you have a patch of skin that from time to time itches like crazy. You said your doctors have said that there's nothing that can be done about it. Have you tried hydrocortisone cream? I'm surprised no one has recommended it. It's readily available in pharmacies. I always have it in my medicine cabinet for just the thing you're talking about. Its over-the-counter strength is 1%. There used to be a 2% available with prescriptions. You should try it. Again, it's hydrocortisone cream. Love the show, though. Terry Z in Chicago.
All right. I have Terry Lee. I have that stuff. But the problem is, I thought that was only
Terry
for.
Z.
Was he say Z? What did I say, Lee?
Yeah, Terry Z said Lee. Terry Lee.
Oh, I couldn't tell. The patch of skin that we're talking about does not turn red or get puffy or have any visible sign of anything. And I thought that stuff only worked on like rashes and stuff. But maybe I should try it. I just have this one place on my calf. It's not doing it today, but this like in such an intense itch. And I've tried everything, lotion. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. The only thing that seems to solve it is if I itch it a lot, and then it'll go away, and I won't have it for a month, and then it'll come back. But never any visible anything. It's just like a sensation. So if he's saying that stuff will work on, if that cream will work,
don't have a visible skin issue.
Yeah, I'll try that. I just didn't even think about it. Because normally I've used that before on like real rashes and stuff, or like an allergic reaction to something or whatever. But I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it should work just like it does on puffy red, inflamed skin, because it's basically just soothing and I don't know what it's doing to the skin, honestly.
I don't either. Skin's weird, man. Skin's weird.
Skin's weird.
Yeah.
If only science understood skin.
Yeah.
We just don't. Science has no idea what's going on.
Can we get our heads around skin science?
It's such a mystery.
The next big
Hey, I was
project.
going to ask you.
Yeah.
Live on the show, because that's a great place for doing this.
Sure.
Any luck getting cup noodles, maple syrup, bacon, eggs?
Oh shit.
waffle?
No. Okay. So I'm glad you said that, because I kind of forgot to have Kim follow up. But she's going out today to ship a bunch of stuff for me, and I'm going to have her do a check again.
Yeah, just pull up the Walmart list, and you just basically pull up that item, and then just keep changing your store until it shows available for pickup, and then you can order it, pull up into one of their pickup spots, and have somebody deliver $1.99 cup noodles to your car.
That's right. That's right.
With a big question mark above their head.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this?
They look like a quest giver in World of Warcraft by the time.
Exactly. Because, listen, I've got this one sitting up on my countertop waiting for me to consume it, and I want to consume it.
Yeah, we got to do this before we go to Vegas. We have to at least digest this once and never have it happen again,
Well, I bought 5 and gave one to Tristan, so I'm going to be at least consuming 4 of these, unless it's so horrendous that I throw the other 4 out.
That's maybe going to happen. We'll see. Maybe it'll be great. I don't know. Yeah, we have no idea.
KTdata says he's got one there for you.
Yeah, he does. So we'd have to just hook up with him as my backup plan. I talked to Kim about that. Like, if we can't find this, then we'll just meet up and do it.
All right.
I just didn't want him to go through too much work. I don't like to.
I know.
I don't like to be a drag.
Like, he's happy to do it because he'll be on the show. He'll be able to watch the show and say, "Hey, I made that happen."
Yeah, it's content.
It's content.
Speaking of the itch, I'm sure that after all this talk about creams and whatnot, Dr. Jerry Tolbert will say something after the show on our Discord and fill us in on what's up.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
I like that too. Okay. Time for some of this here news that I've provided. It's time for that news, and it's brought to you by
A Mouthful of Nets.
I went on a brief walk jog with my dog. Jog with my dog.
A walk with your dog.
And there's these gnat things flying around this time of year. It's always like right around the first touch of spring. And I ran through a cloud of them and got a big mouthful. And yeah.
I hate that.
No side effects or anything weird, but
all the damn time, and I hate it.
It's gross, right? It's not what you asked for. And I realize, we're consuming all sorts of micro shit we don't see every day. Like, I'm probably just breathe one in now and don't even know it. But when you can see them and you know that they have a presence in your mouth, it's awful. It's terrible.
Yes. Yeah, it's when you're on a bike and you're going 15, 20 miles an hour and you see this cloud and there's zero that you can do other than close you basically just close your face. You just go wait for all the ricocheting little pew 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 pew.
Yep. Try not to breathe in, try not to, have your mouth open, but I did, and it didn't taste like anything, but it made me want to die. So there's
protein.
That. Yeah, protein. That's right. It tasted like protein.
Yeah.
All right. Here's an interesting bit of news. Everybody's been talking about, is Donald Trump the first president to be indicted, by a federal court? And the answer is yes. However, did a little digging. Ulysses S. Grant, former president of the United States, President Grant. General Grant in the great Civil War of this country.
That's right, yes.
Was arrested for speeding on a horse-drawn carriage.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
I know. What a dark day in American history that must have been.
I could speed on a horse-drawn carriage through the center of the city and nobody could do anything about it.
Well, he had kind of he had sort of a reputation for this.
Did he really?
Yeah. So this Manhattan grand jury thing that's going on with Trump right now, it's unprecedented stuff for sure. But he's not the first commander-in-chief to learn that no one in the country is above the law. 1872, President Ulysses S. Grant was arrested for speeding on his horse-drawn carriage in Washington, D.C., which was highlighted by the Washington Post way back in 2018. They brought that up again when he was doing the impeachment stuff. Grant still faced some stuff. It wasn't impeachable what he did, but he faced consequences. Okay.
It was a witch hunt, Scott, back in a time when we actually had witch hunts.
Yeah, when we had real witches. Horrible. Yeah, real witches then. Anyway, the general who helped lead the Union to victory in the Civil War was arrested on the corner of 13th and M Streets in the National Capital, or M Street, I assume. The story of his arrest was once told in the September 27th, 1908 edition of the Washington Evening Star with the headline, "Only policeman who ever arrested a president." Then they interviewed the cop. Let's see. The police officer who arrested him was a black man who fought in the Civil War named William H. West, who gave his account of the incident to the Star, which the Post then dug up. Grant apparently had a penchant for speeding and a love for fast horses and had more than one run-in with Officer West. Oh.
Wow.
Well, you know, some of us have proclivities. You know, I don't know who I'm talking about here, but somebody out there may just like put their pedal to the metal because they really enjoy the sensation of speed.
Sure.
Doesn't make him a bad person, just makes him a, you know.
What's the horse equivalent? Putting the whip to the mane.
Did they have a? I wonder if there was a. Is there a saying for that? Let's think here. What would you say?
Man, he really put the. I mean, all I can think of is the whip, the horse-drawn carriage.
I guess the spurs to the.
Really put the whip to the horse and was flying.
Did they spur
going
him?
At least 25 miles an hour down that street.
Early 1900s, they would still spur horses, right? They had spurs on their shoes and boots, I think. So maybe that's it.
Oh yeah, but that's if you're on a horse with not a carriage.
Oh right, that's a single horse. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Can't go out there and kick him with
Well,
spurs.
I do like Icors though. Put the spurs to the furs. If he was just sitting on a horse and not in a carriage, put the spurs to the furs is really good.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
spurs.
I feel the need to go 25 miles an hour down the busiest street in town on my horse-drawn carriage.
Yeah. The fast and the spurious. See what we did there?
There you go. The spurious.
Yeah, not bad. All right. Anyway, so that's the thing. Just remember, there's always some cool history about something you don't know about, and that was one I knew or didn't know.
Sure.
Until today. Here's a fun one. A man faces charges after stealing a school bus, which led to police chasing him in a multi-county chase. People have reported this here. Where is this? Fox 43, and is this Florida? I think so.
Abbottstown. Where's Abbottstown?
Yeah, the York County.
Carroll Township Police Department. All right, I'm going to just go right to the article.
Probably the only way. It's the only way to be sure, Brian. It's the only way.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Harrisburg. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, and also there's Gettysburg. That would have been a giveaway. Anyway, police have arrested a man who allegedly stole a bus in Adams County before leading authorities on this chase. Tony Saunders, age 24. Why are they always right around 24 to 28? What's going on with that right now?
Aren't they all?
Aren't they all? They're all like this. This newest shooter, wasn't he right around that? What are you all doing?
I don't know. I can't remember how this. Yeah, he was young, 25, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you guys all? What's the problem? Yeah. Are you guys okay? Are all 20-somethings just angry men? You know?
Yeah, I think so.
This
is interesting. I got my outside camera, and a big cherry picker vehicle just pulled in front of our house, and they are looking at our tree. So it looks like Tina arranged to have some. Can you come over and cut some branches off our tree?
Yeah.
Trim. Could you trim our tree?
And they were more than happy to oblige. They're happy to come trim
cones all in front of our house. Look at this business.
Oh, Brian, this is a big deal.
They better wrap up before 11 because I have to back out of my garage and their vehicle is completely blocking the driveway.
What if they take your whole tree? What will you do then? How will you feel?
I'll sit and watch this because I'm too busy doing a show to do any damn thing about it.
That's
Scott.
right, Tina. This is your chance. Have all the things done Brian can't do anything about while he's on the show.
I'll lay down in front of their cherry picker, but that probably won't work because it'll be way above where I'm at.
But you'll be
dent my way out of that one.
You'll be a political hero for decades if you lay down in front of it.
Yes,
I love that. Well, anyway, this guy stole a Lincoln Coach Line. Lincoln Coach Line's bus. There were no kids on the bus. There were neither took kids nor left kids on the bus.
Yeah.
This is reported by the state police in Gettysburg, where they made an address, I suppose, about the situation at the Gettysburg address.
I see what you're saying. I see where you went with
Did
that.
you see where I went there?
The address,
okay.
yeah. Uh-huh.
In the early morning hours of Tuesday, and Be on the Lookout has been sent to law enforcement agencies all around the counties. The Carroll Township Police spotted the stolen bus shortly after 8 a.m. After it drove through a parking lot of a Giant Foods and Rite Aid. I don't know why that's important, but that seems like a weird detail, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Here are the stores that were in the parking lot.
The CVS parking lot is way more, like too many parking blocks and medians and stuff to get through the CVS, but the Rite Aid, wide open.
Sure. See, not only is it a felony because it's a vehicle, but the new part you add to it now, were there any children inside, says the police.
Of course. Yeah.
Did the
It's
mail
just the
stop to
dumbest
pick
vehicle
up?
to try and steal.
Yeah, why would you do this giant
It's
yellow
the most
thing?
lumbering. You're not, you're going to be, leading people on a medium speed chase through the city, through Gettysburg.
Yeah, I'd like to do a real low-key robbery. Should I take a giant yellow bus that's bigger than most trucks? Sure.
You can't hide it behind a building or something. Like, it's very obvious. It's very large. It's big and it's yellow.
When I was young, I wanted to have a bus so bad. I wanted a big giant school bus, yeah, because I wanted it to
like a live-in, kind of like drive at places, live in it.
Oh yeah, and I wanted to clear everything out of it, so gut it, and then put like a hot tub in the middle of it, and then like cushy stuff all around, and just make it all customed out, and cool lights in there and everything. I had all these ideas.
3,000 lights? Is that the goal?
3,000. I had to collect them all first, but
lights?
yeah, 84 is my collection here. But yeah, that never fruitioned. Probably because where are you going to find a bus like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the Partridge Family business. Would you paint Mondrian artwork on the side?
I mean, we would have probably, if I'd had my way, it would be like, I'm going to do crazy murals on the outside. We're going to paint it, do like custom van type airbrush crap is probably what I wanted at the time. Probably not now, but then the thing I never thought about is those things are probably a nightmare on maintenance. It's probably a total pain in the ass, right?
I'm sure, yeah.
Like they break, they're freaking diesel, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I want that now, but
yeah, you're better off just getting a Winnebago.
Yeah, or even better, it's like that new VW EV bus. I want that.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Have you not seen that?
No.
Brian, you got to see this EV bus.
Think of all the people that owe the ID Buzz.
Is that what it's called?
There it is right there, yes.
I love it. It's weird looking.
Oh, it's wow, look at that. Oh, I like the white and green version. That's actually kind of cool.
I know. I would drive the hell out of that.
It is the ID Buzz.
ID Buzz? I hate that name.
ID Buzz, yeah.
I changed my mind.
Think of all the people I could lift in that.
Look at that thing, though. I think that is a sexy, hot car.
That's,
I would drive the shit out of that.
Yeah.
No problem.
I do like the fact that it looks it's a more aerodynamic version of the the Hurley driving it down the mountain and lost from the golf course playing Shambhala on the radio.
I forgot all about that in that. You're right.
One of my favorite episodes of that show when they find what's his face's dad, the mummified remains of Michael Emerson's dad, and they start playing the tape deck has Shambhala going on it.
Is it just me or should I be getting direct Lost, like rated R Lost vibes out of Yellow Jackets so far? It feels like Lost to me because you got flashbacks, flash forwards, you got the
for
whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
there's
this mystery
a little bit
stuff.
of potential supernatural component going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm totally getting Lost vibes from it in a good way.
Secret factions and the others, and sure.
Yeah. No polar bear yet, but who knows? Could come.
Oh, it's coming. It's not really coming. No.
Oh, it's a shame. Anyway, don't steal buses, I guess, is our lesson today. Don't take them or steal them or do anything with them.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson.
Don't take nor leave buses.
Yeah, take nor leave buses. Magic Johnson.
Johnson.
Yep.
No, that's a name that should be hard for you to pronounce.
Yeah, it's a rough one for me. Shares his wellness routine. And this is a guy, don't forget, this is a feller, what got the HIV.
That's right.
And he's held it at bay for what, 30 years now?
Years, yeah, decades.
Yeah, I think at least 30 years. He says, I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning. Brian, guys, this is for you.
Me and Magic. Look at that. All right, good deal.
All
he
right.
does it. It sounds like he does it with an alarm clock. I do it with my eyes.
Yeah, your eyeballs. Like, what'd you get up? What happened today? What time did you get up?
I actually got up at 6, but I did. I was awake from 1 until 2:15.
Damn. What'd you do during that
wide
time?
awake. I watched 2 more episodes of a show that I don't even know why I'm watching. I mean, I'm watching because I'm interested in how it turns out, and I'm not going to say too much because I might end up using it for recommendals. I have 1 episode left, and I'm curious how they wind up a show where the 2 main characters I just don't like at all.
Really?
But I don't think you're supposed to like the 2 main characters.
I'm trying to guess what this is, and I can't think of what it is.
It is brand new, less than been out for less than a week.
I know what it is. I'll bet it starts with a B and ends with an F.
It does, yeah. And I've also mentioned it in our recommendals planning discussion.
Oh, did you? I didn't know if you talked about it in there. My son Nick was raving about this and telling me I need to watch it. But
99%, like it's 99/92 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but
it's all the talk these days. I'm not even a big. I don't. Well, it's not. Let's say I'm the person whose initials are AW.
Yeah.
I only can take that person in small doses, usually, like with the comedy side of it.
So 100% with you. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know why that is.
I feel like she's kind of a little bit of an over actress.
Yeah. And then the other initials, the SY.
Yeah.
I could watch Change Tires.
He can do no wrong for
Yeah, but it sounds like he plays a character you're not going to love. Or that
we can. We've said so much. We might as well say it's Ali Wong and Stephen Yun, and the show is called Beef. And
it's called Beef.
I'm not sure I'm going to recommend it. I want to see. I need to see the last episode. If only I could stay awake for one more episode, Scott. I could have decided, but.
I mean, here's a clip from it. I'll just play this.
I smell like beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a spoiler because that's like in the 5th episode you finally get the revelation.
I know. It feels like that. Yeah, this is
for the first 4 episodes. You're wondering, man, who smells like beef? Like, what a big mystery of this TV show is who smells like beef, and then finally, it's revealed in the 5th episode.
That's right. It took a long time, but we got there.
Beef stick.
Beef stick. Yep, beef stick. That's where it all ends. Anyway, so Magic Johnson says he wakes up at 4. He loves the morning when it's just still and quiet. He has an hour or 2 to himself, right? He likes to just chill out. He says he gets moving. He stretches. Then he lifts weights for an hour. I do cardio for another hour, stationary bike or treadmill, and then I'm off to the office all day. You know, the Magic Johnson office is where he goes.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Equally disciplined at bedtime, 8 or 8:30 p.m. Unless the Lakers are playing, he says. I guess he's still a fan.
Yeah.
He says in addition to taking his own health seriously, Johnson, age 63, has been a public advocate for nearly 30 years. These days, his focus is on older adults. He's partnered with GSK to launch Sideline RSV, a new health education program to help older adults become or to better understand the risks and potential seriousness of RSV infection and how to help protect themselves. That's usually the thing you hear about with kids and babies, but I guess adults can get it.
The respiratory virus. I mean, geez, if I had time to do 2 hours of weightlifting and cardio in the morning, I guess if I do wake up at 4, then I do have 2 hours. And I can do a lot of that while I'm watching whatever show that I'm normally watching, just sitting on the couch. So there's something.
Yeah, there's something. I don't know if I could do the 8:30 sleep thing, but
going to bed that early now.
But I guess if you're always getting up at 4, you'd adjust. I suppose you'd get used to it. I don't know.
You'd think, Scott, but no.
I'm just trying to do the Wendy thing where I go to bed with no screen time, no nothing. It's hard for me to remember to do that, you know, because I'll get in there and go.
It's hard for me to want to do that.
Yeah, want to and yes, remember and want to. It's hard because here's a period of time where I get to read my book or catch up on the thing I want to see or whatever. And so you'd say, well, Scott, get a real book and read the paper, you know? I don't know that that's really going to make that big a difference for me. I understand not sitting there scrolling through TikTok for 3 hours. That makes sense that isn't good for me before bed. But reading a little book, I don't know. I argue with myself every night about what to do.
I'd rather try and change my brain to love and rely on some blue light and some Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, whatever, for about half an hour before it's time to go to sleep.
Yeah, well, it's too bad that there aren't. Some study doesn't say it's good for humans to stare at their phone for an hour.
If you really work hard and do this for 2 years straight, your brain will actually work for it, and it'll. Well, listen, I have no problem falling asleep, and I don't think the blue light is what wakes me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, or in this case, 12:30 in the morning.
You just got like an internal clock thing, right? It just happens.
I do. Yeah.
I think everybody's got some version of that, but
it's more likely that I'm having caffeine at the wrong time of day, or I'm not doing a good job of clearing my mind with writing down all my to-dos, so that when I wake up and say, oh, what I could do for this is, install this thing or add this thing. And that's what I just need to not think about it.
Well, that's, you basically described me. I can't turn my brain off. It's just really hard for me to shut things down. And if I have to get up and pee, I dread it. So I try to pee as many times as I need to before I go to bed. Because if I have to get up and pee, that's when my brain goes and I can't go back to sleep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stupid pee.
Stupid brain
pee. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back from this break, we're going to spend a little bit of time with our two favorite Tuesday people. I don't know why. Oh, I'm on the wrong tab. That's why. We have Bill, then we have Bobby. So come around for that. But before we do song, Brian, song? You have song.
Yeah, so I'm already a fan of the band Dawes, Daws, because I think they're great, and they've churned out some very likable, enjoyable, approachable stuff. Good pop that is indie and doesn't go into extremes one way or the other to just kind of make it, it's your Vampire Weekend. It's your easy to get into pop. Lee Pardini, who is an acclaimed pianist, saying it very carefully, joining Dawes for a collaborative single that just came out. This is a song that was composed by Pardini and features original lyrics by Taylor Goldsmith of Dawes. The song is called What It Takes. Here is the brand new song from Lee Pardini and Dawes.
Are you a Mexican or a Mexicant?
You are Fritz Krueger, wealthy Ecuadorian rancher.
The Morning Stream. Well, of course, I am the Supreme Being. I'm not entirely dim.
Do tell me who that was again.
I shall. That was Lee Pardini joining forces with LA rockers Dawes for a brand new single called What It Takes.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
it is what it takes.
Very good.
The Aces, the local band here that I like so much.
Yeah, I like them. Do they have something new?
They got a brand new album coming out. It's not out yet. I don't think we even have singles yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's June or May. I'm not sure.
Awesome. We'll get a song here on the show as soon as it's out, because they work with one of my PR agencies. So.
Oh, no way. That's perfect then.
Woo! Yeah.
That's how I heard the 801 for the first time. It was right here on the show.
Uh-huh.
That song's like an anthem around here. We freaking love it.
I bet it is. Yeah, I'm sure.
Check this out, y'all.
There's still something wrong, isn't there, Bill?
Oh, look, it's Bill Duran joining us from the Pacific Northwest and all things Punished Props. Bill, welcome back to the show. How the heck are you?
Good morning, friends. I'm doing great.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Before you get into stuff, have you seen the most recent episode of Mandalorian?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. If you are anything like me, or maybe it's reverse, if I'm anything like you, then once you watch it, you're going to have an idea for about a half dozen things that you want to build, that you want to make.
Really? I want to know now.
Episode.
I haven't watched this season at all, so I'm going to have to binge. We're like 2 left, right? It's all? It's like
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm way behind.
And I really enjoyed that episode, and man, is it divided online about people who loved it and hated it, but I really enjoyed it.
Oh, is this the Lizzo Jack Black thing? Is that the deal?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. And that didn't pull me out of it at all.
I don't know why
But
people have such a problem
you're
with
saying though, there's lots of good.
There's
set
some
pieces.
interesting new
Yeah.
tech things that it's like, oh, I kind of want that security droid thing. I want to make that, or
You could 3D print Lizzo's headgear that she was wearing.
It's pretty cool. It's like covered with constellations and stuff. It's actually not a bad thing. Like I could actually see that being a popular 3D print as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of my favorite things. Watching something that's fun and going, ooh, I want to make that. Ooh, I want to make that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, so I got to catch up. I'm behind. Bad.
Yes, you do.
I'll be doing that. Well, it's good to have you here, Bill. What's going on this week? You've been home. You let the smell of fish waft away. You're good now. What do you got going on?
I made a hammer. I made a cool hammer.
Aren't those readily available to purchase, though? Really?
They are, but I thought, what if I spent way more time and money on it? So there's a story. I have my wedding ring is something I made. It's a pewter ring that I cast myself, and it's getting on 6 years old been 6 years since I made it. And pewter's a pretty soft metal, so it gets scratched up. I have to polish it from time to time. But also, it was no longer round, like very not round anymore.
Wow.
And I bought a ring mandrel to reshape it, basically a tapered tube with different the numbers on it represent the sizing on it, and you're able to slide the ring onto this tapered tube, and then you can bonk it with a hammer to sort of reshape it. But you don't want a metal hammer, you want a soft hammer. And yes, on Amazon they sell kits that include the mandrel and a nice hammer with a plastic end on it, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted my own hammer. I wanted my own experience.
Right.
Sure.
So I made my own.
Oh, no way.
I also happen to have everything I needed anyway. So.
Yeah, you walk into your little space and you're like, gosh, I'm missing a thing. Maybe I could just cobble these 4 things together and bam, you have it. That's just your life now.
I mean, it's such the MacGyver route. Have you posted photos of the hammer anywhere? I'm looking on your Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, on Twitter last week I posted photos of it. Yeah.
I'm seeing all the butterfly, but I have not found the hammer.
Well,
so the most of the hammer, the head of the hammer anyway, is made out of brass. I had about an inch diameter, I think, rod of brass that I made it from, and I did most of that work on the lathe. And I did some fun stuff to challenge myself. The hammer has some tapered cuts on it, so I had to do some tapered cuts on the lathe, which is something I don't have a lot of experience doing. And there are little parts on the lathe that are like around it, like a radius indent, and I had to make a custom tool for that. I had to use my grinder and a piece of high-speed steel to make a form cutting tool, and I've never done that before, so I'm really happy with how that turned out.
Yeah.
It was a really fun challenge.
What were the challenges in doing such a thing? I'm trying to think what that would be, and I can't think of it.
So the high-speed steel blank is just a 1/4 inch, about 2-inch long piece of metal, and you have to grind away the tip of it until it makes the shape that you want. And you also have to grind clearance under it for allowing it to interact with the geometry of the lathe and all that. There's a set of things you got to do to make sure that it works correctly, and it did. So I'm really happy with it.
Hey, you should be happy. It looks awesome.
That's cool.
Is
That's
that
really
is that
cool,
tip
yeah.
of that hammer you're using with the blunt tip, kind of plasticky looking rubber tip? Is the top part brass? Is that what that is? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
So the most of the head of the hammer is brass, but then the other side of it is made out of plastic. So I made that also on the lathe, and I was able to press it into the brass. So the brass had a hollow I cut into it, and the plastic had a protrusion that were what's called an interference fit. They just fit, but not quite, and I was able to use my arbor press to press them together. So there's no glue in there. It's held in completely by friction, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is cool. That thing looks
That's
awesome.
really cool.
That's going to be, man, one of these days when you're, old and dead, you're all
I
of your
think about that a lot.
all your like your nephews and nieces and stuff. Everybody in your life's going to have the coolest like crap to like split up and hang on their walls and stuff. From
Yeah,
you know what I
there is
mean?
something neat about having like a custom, what's the word? Bespoke heirloom quality tool, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
I
this
agree.
this hopefully is going to last longer than I am, and someone else will get it and remember me every time I swing it. So, and once I'm done with it, I still have a lot of use to get out of it.
Yeah.
But that's neat. I'm getting more and more things like that in my shop. I do still have a lot of tools that are like cheapo tools I bought from Harbor Freight or Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been doing is, if I've had people over that need tools, I've been giving them away.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will replace it with something cooler.
Especially if it's Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight is the destination of disposable tools.
It really
basically.
is.
Like,
yeah.
Here's an air pump. Great. I'm going to use it for a week, and I can really just throw it away because I spent $4 on it.
Oh yeah. Or airbrushes. I met a couple that they did face painting at conventions.
Yeah.
And they did not bring a compressor. They brought compressed air and like a scuba tank.
Oh.
And then they bought like 50 of the cheapest airbrushes you can get at Harbor Freight, and each one was for a different color. And if it got clogged, they just threw it away and got a new one.
Heck yeah! And they still probably spent less than $100.
Absolutely, yeah. They probably spent less than I have on airbrushes. I've spent
no
a lot
kidding.
on airbrushes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So when you say their
yeah.
airbrushes are cheap, how cheap? Like super cheap? Like if I go there, can I get them for like
$10?
Really? That is cheap.
$14.99 or something. I mean, it's really cheap.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Oh yeah, look at that airbrush kits on their website. Oh my gosh, my parents wouldn't have been so cheap if they'd gone to Harbor Freight back when I was in high school. They were like so cheap. All they bought me was the airbrush, some inks, and the tubing, but they were too cheap to get me the compressor.
Yeah.
Because they were like, well, we'll have to get that at a different time. Well, then this is useless to me, Mom. I can't freaking use the damn thing.
Exactly. What do you expect me to blow in a consistent stream of air at the other end of the tube?
Oh, I was so annoyed by that back then. But
Yeah,
this
what is
stuff's
that,
it's not bad. It's cheap.
Airbrush compressor kit, $89. Where are the airbrushes? Airbrush cleaning bottle. Anyway, cheap.
You can get the cleaning kits for like $5.
Yeah, I kind of like that $10 airbrush holder, even because I can use that for holding a lot of different things that are not airbrushes.
I need to go. I still have never been foot in a Harbor Freight. I need to go.
Oh man,
I know. I don't know
the
why.
Smell is great.
Yeah,
such a good smell.
We have one here. I don't know why I haven't gone in, but I just need to go in. It'll be like, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Next time Kim drags me to Zim's or some kind of nightmare craft store that I don't want to be in, where it's a lot of foam shapes and bullshit, I'm going to tell her, all right, when we're done here, when we're done at Roberts, it's over to the Harbor Freight with you.
It's over to Harbor Freight. Yeah, I bought a couple sawhorses at Harbor Freight for probably, I think the pair for $15. And got home, opened the hatchback, took the sawhorses out, leaned them up against the side of my car, and as I was closing the hatch, they fell over and shattered into 8 pieces.
Damn.
It was like,
that's the Harbor Freight guarantee right there.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Guaranteed to make it home.
Wow. Wow. That's not good.
Yeah.
Well, this is really cool, dude. Tooling your own tools seems like a new theme over there for you.
Great.
Yeah.
You're not gonna find a hammer like this at Harbor Freight. I used figured maple for the handle, so it's very pretty.
That handle is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really nice.
You know, just thinking about it, it's kind of funny you bring this up because I am making something that I'm going to use as a tool for something else, and designing it on the 3D printer. So I'm totally, this is a good time to talk about it. So it's not something I can talk about because it's going to be in Vegas, but we're gonna see you and Britt there in Vegas.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? It'd be so nice.
Funny you should mention that. That's in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should make it out to that. I don't know if Britt will make it out, but I'm here right now, having not done any work or ordered any hotels or flights, telling you that I'll be there.
If you're somehow there, we would of course celebrate that and enjoy the hell out of your company.
Oh my God, yes.
But no pressure. We don't want you to feel any undue pressure. But if you did, we'd all be thrilled out of our minds. So it's up to you. Yeah,
Cool.
It's entirely up to you.
All right, you've convinced me. I'll go.
All right, he's in Vegas. Yay! You hear that, everybody? Sweet. Bill,
Britt, I need to order flights.
Get some killer deals out there. You always bring a little extra bonus linky thing today. Do you have one today?
I do. Yeah. So another restoration video I've been watching. You guys are talking about going to sleep at night. Watch some restoration videos right before bed. That'll help out. This one is a Singer sewing machine restoration, and it looks like they pulled it out of a swamp. It looks like it's in really bad shape. But wow. This is Natra Restoration. I haven't watched them before. This is a new one for me. And they do a bang-up job on this sewing machine.
Oh my gosh, look at that thing.
That thing is horrendous.
They get it out of the Titanic or something? My gosh.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, totally does.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's more rust than sewing machine.
Don't show this to my daughter Carter would lose her mind. She would love this because she loves old sewing machines, even though she'll never use them probably. Although that's not true. So I was thinking of you the other day. Her and her two friends, her best friends from high school, they stayed close and go out and they hang out all the time, mostly watching anime and drawing, and they're all artists and stuff like that. Anyway, they're going to London Comic-Con in September, I think it is.
Oh, cool.
And they're right now in the middle of like deciding all the cosplay stuff ideas they've got, and they're buying parts and pieces and doing some sewing and all of that. And I thought of you while they were getting ready.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
and I know quite a few people in the London-based cosplay scene. It's a good group of people. I've been to London Super Comic Con before, and it was really fun.
They're very excited about it, so we'll see how things go this fall. All right, go check that out. That is Natra Restoration. Like natural, but shortened. I like it.
Natural.
Oh, man, they really went nuts on this thing.
Yeah.
And link to the video on quicktms.li for those of you who do not listen live.
There you go. Go find your own junky thing in the garage and restore it, everybody. That's what we're saying. Bill, it's always good to talk to you, and the idea of seeing you in Vegas, well, my heart skipped a beat.
Yeah.
We hope that happens. If it doesn't, it's,
sure.
Again, no pressure from us. It's Bill Duran, everybody. You can find him at punishprops.com or the Punish Props YouTube channel. I suspect you'll probably bookmark both because you'll love the content. He's also Chinbeard on Twitter while it lasts. Bill, have a fantastic week.
You betcha. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm admiring this. These people, these restoration people, I don't think I don't have what it takes. I don't think I have.
No,
what it
I don't
takes.
either. I mean, if I did that as the only thing I did and did YouTube content for that, okay, that I could learn to do that and deal with it. But it's not something that I could fit into my current bandwidth for sure.
No, I can't add. This is no add-on to my schedule.
No, I'd love to, but yeah, no, not a chance.
Not happening. I'll tell you what is happening, though. This right here is happening.
Science!
Bob is hungry, and the soup looks good.
That's right. Bob is hungry, and he's hungry for a little bit of science discussion here on TMS on Tuesday. It's Bobby Frankenberger. Joins us for his science segment each and every week. Bobby, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. If it wasn't for this show, I would be in a mindless zombie state, trying to make blue research cubes in Dyson Sphere program.
Oh, it's the red ones I struggle with. Those are the ones I really get goofed up on. I have the worst spaghetti. I don't even want to show you, Bobby, what I've done because it's so bad in that game.
Well, you know what happens with me and why I don't get past those types of things is that I'm like, oh, I could have done that. Like every step of the way, I could have done that whole thing better, and then I just start a new game.
You're not wrong. I do the same thing. In fact, I started fresh probably 4 times, and then somebody said to me, hey, by the way, if you just scrap everything, you'll keep all your research and just start over with, just delete everything. But you don't lose any of your research, and then you can immediately start making the better belts, the better intakes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, but it's still kind of a problem of like, I love where this is going. I love where this is going. I look at my back out and look at it and go, well, shit, there's about 20 things I'd rather do if I was to start this over. And so what do? I start it over.
Yeah.
But it's
I could talk about it all day with even the little bit that I've been in. So, but most of your listeners probably have never played that game, so they would probably turn this podcast off.
Probably. He's speaking of Dyson Sphere program. If you haven't seen it, it's a PC game, $20. It's amazing.
It's very good.
Yeah. What I love about it is the depth is insane, and like where you ultimately need to go is putting a literal Dyson sphere around a star.
Yeah, but you weren't joking last time we talked about this on this show when you told me eventually you're supposed to be solar system wide construction building from like this whole planet is a factory to make this thing, and but you start as just like one little robot guy.
Yeah, and you cut down a few trees, a couple stones, and some weeds, and you're expected to go from there. And it does that really deftly. Like a lot of these games, I don't like them. I think the initial starting game is a little rough for a lot of these. They're not very welcoming in the early parts. This game is the opposite of that. It feels great immediately. And you just keep growing and growing and growing, changing your mind, scrapping it, starting over. Tally in our chat has got some amazing shit on her planets. It makes me sick.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
She's really good. Well, Bobby, it's good to have you here. We're going to read a little thing to you that I got in the old text box that came for you, and I'm going to read that first. Hello, TMS, says this listener. By the way, they sent this in to 801-471-0462. Use it on the frequent. Says, question for Bobby on the topic of flying. On Mythbusters, one episode, they showed that a person with no prior training or experience could be given instruction over the radio to land a plane safely in an emergency situation. Now that you've been trained yourself, would you confirm this is a realistic notion? Jack the Knife. So obviously it's an extreme notion, right? You're like, they're going to crash. The pilot's passed out, whatever. Somebody in the back has been asked to come up, and the most experience he's had is he built model planes in high school. We're going to talk him down with the radio. Do you think it's even possible now that you've seen enough of your training?
Now that you've done it yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the situation here, like the emergency is just that there's no one to fly the plane, but the plane is okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the captain and the first the co-pilot have drank the coffee. They're unconscious on the floor of the cockpit.
Right. Somebody poisoned their coffee.
So it's basically it's the theme of Airplane, movie Airplane, exactly. Except even less training, because in Airplane he was from the war. He was fought in Vietnam or whatever. He was a pilot and had to fight his PTSD to get the plane down or whatever. Hilarious PTSD back in the 80s. But yeah, like the concept still remains. If I was on a small plane, everybody else was incapacitated, and I needed to land that thing, could I do it?
So I'm gonna think about this and talk about it from two angles. First is thinking about it as you are actually aviating the plane by hand. So like what I do, right? And the safely is a word I think that would mean, like you can get it on the ground without everyone in it dying. So
the plane may be
might
destroyed
be
in the process.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. People might be injured. The plane might not be flyable again afterwards. But safely means that most, hopefully, all people survive the landing. And I think that's totally true. Like if somebody was if I had one of you in the plane with me, and then I suddenly went unconscious, could you land the plane if on the radio somebody told you what to do? Yeah, you could. And it might not be pretty, and I'm certain it wouldn't be pretty, because it's not easy to do. And you have to know a lot about how the control, like if you've never flown a plane and then now you're being asked to bring a plane down to the ground, it's gonna be hard, and you might make a mistake, and it's gonna have to be very carefully done. They're gonna probably send you way out from the airport and have you try to come in straight, and they're gonna be talking to you the whole time and all this kind of stuff, right?
Right. Maximize all your options, this is not a situation you want to be in. Nobody's comfortable with this backup plan, right?
Right, and a lot could go wrong, especially because there's the closer you get to the ground, the more you have the more turbulence you experience. It's called mechanical turbulence. And it's not mechanical because it has to do with the mechanics of the plane. What it means is like the air is mechanically moving around things on the ground, moving through and around and over trees, buildings, stuff like that, in a way that's not just like smooth laminar airflow. So as you come into a landing, it takes a lot of practice to be prepared for that. The plane might suddenly, jerk to the left a little bit, and you just have to be prepared for that and know what to do. But if you're not, and you don't know what you're doing, you might overcorrect or what they call over control the plane, which could cause it to stall or go into a worse situation, right? So it's not an ideal situation, but I never saw this episode of Mythbusters, so I don't know what the specifics of that situation were. But if you're talking about an airliner, like an Airbus, or some big jetliner with 100 passengers on it, I would say it's gonna be very difficult for someone to hand fly that plane, because the controls, they're a lot harder. It's my understanding. I've never done it before, but it's my understanding that you're like slowing down and speeding up the plane by pitching the nose up and down is you're pulling and pushing a lot more, and everything's much slower to change configuration and stuff like that. But having said that, there are a lot of autopilot systems that can do most, if not all, the work of landing the plane for you.
Oh, that's true. The planes of 1977 for Airport 77 or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not the same. Like the stuff but even then they had a lot of automation. But today it's like tons of it, right? So you're better if it's a little Cessna or something. That's a way harder process than if it was a commercial airline where all that stuff's built in and they can walk around a lot of that stuff.
Now, depending on the small plane, like my plane does have autopilot in it. I don't remember if it has autopilot enough to actually bring me down on what's called a glide slope to the runway. I don't think so, but you can fudge it by manually changing altitudes on the autopilot in the plane that I fly, stuff like that. So you could be even talked through that if you knew how to tell them what type of autopilot you have. But if you're on an airliner, it definitely has autopilot. I'm not 100% sure if the autopilot can straight up land the plane, but it can bring you low enough to where you are just having to do the very last part, which is like applying the brakes and making sure that the plane touches down with the right way,
And no pressure at all for this sort of thing, right? Super easy, just breezy.
Yeah, no pressure at all. It's the pilots basically sleep through the landing.
Yeah, of course. I assume they're always asleep up there.
I don't want to say it because I think a lot of airline pilots, like they call them ATP pilots, I think they get annoyed when people say that, and it's definitely a hard job.
Yeah.
But the talking through, I imagine. And again, keep in mind, I've never flown one of these planes. But I imagine the talking through would just be telling you what buttons and switches to flip, so that you could have it come in properly,
I feel like I've never seen a really tall pilot. Have you ever seen like a big 6'4" plus tall pilot? I think there's something there where it's like I feel like you rarely see it if you do at all. It's like actors.
You see them walking through the airport. And they look tall, but I wonder if it's just because I admire them.
I think it's because you admire them. I do. I see them and go, oh. And they're always in great shape, all that. But it's just, I'd never see one that's like taller than me, he or she. And I've also never been on a plane with a female pilot, which I think that's weird. At least best I know.
I have for sure.
I definitely haven't. And I don't know why. I don't know why I've never seen
I have as well.
A lady pilot. I want to see a lady pilot too, like you guys have gotten to see.
You don't fly super often, do you?
Not that often. Probably average,
once a year?
Usually 2, 3, maybe. Well, two at the most. So yeah, probably an average of 1 to 2 times a year. I really don't fly that much.
That's all right. Do you look in the cockpit every time you get on?
Oh, every time.
Plane? I do.
Every
I like
time.
to see what's going on.
Yeah. I'll pass it by. They're like, "Good morning," and I'm like, "Hi," and I'm kind of side eye and go, "What's going on in there?" All right.
Yeah. Well, I usually see them, while I'm waiting in the gate, I see them with their little rolly bags going down the jetway.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually on the first flight of the day. So,
and I don't know about the plane, the airlines and the planes that you guys fly on, but I know that 9 times out of 10, when I get on and off a plane, at least one of the pilots is standing there greeting and
most of the time,
saying farewell to the people getting off.
Yeah, most of the time they're there. I just feel like I've never. Trying to think back, I look every time and I've never seen a female.
Well, the industry definitely is male heavy.
Yeah, like a lot of them. Yeah. I don't know why though, but we talked about this before, Brian. Last week we were talking about how I trust lady massagers more. I trust lady doctors more. I'd trust lady pilot more.
Mm-hmm.
Is that weird? Does that make me weird?
I know what you're saying. I don't necessarily trust them, but I feel more. I do feel more comfortable around in the same like you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's because for me, I think it's because I grew up with just my mom as a single parent. So I think I think there's got to be something to do with that.
Something with that. Yeah. For me, I think it's because I had most of my friends in high school were girls. Like not girlfriends, but friends that were girls, and I just was around them all the time, and most of the guys were dicks. So I was like, so I have this, and I realize this is just a weird bias I have. I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying it's just how I always feel. If I saw a female captain, I'd go, all right, we got this. We got a nice balanced view of the day. She's awesome. Check her out. She's not strutting around like a weird, like I have all these built-in things, and I don't know where those come from. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, Bobby, that's great. Thanks for the flight update on how things could happen if one of us idiots had to land a plane. Now let's throw it over to you for some science you brought with you. What'd you bring?
So I did bring one or two things that we could talk about, but I was going to ask you. It was like a week ago. You had said you had a call about stars.
Right. What was it? Do you remember? I don't remember. What was it?
It was something about a sun swallowing the earth. You sent it to me, and in Discord, and
right.
If you,
I think
if you don't want to search for it, I have other things I can talk about.
No. I have it right here. I don't remember doing this, so I'm glad you brought it up. Let's pull it up and play it. I love that you sent me. So, but if you guys want to know how into creating his assembly lines in this game are going, Bobby actually made this. What'd you make this in? You graphed it out. It's
draw.io.
Oh my Lord! Look at this, Brian. Hold on.
Let me see. Send it to me.
Yeah, I'm putting this in our group. You got to see this. So it's a really efficient.
Oh, look at that
way from mining to storage to smelting to assembling to your blue matrix lab. Like, look at you, dude.
See, I need to do something like this for my Satisfactory now.
Yeah, that's really great. Anyway, let's see if I can find it. Was it before that? It was, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me hold on. Sorry, everybody. Give me 1 second. There it is. Okay, here, I'll play it. Here we go.
Hello, Scott and Brian. My name is Alex. I am a PhD candidate in particle physics, but I currently stationed at CERN in Switzerland. But I have a special interest in astronomy and such, and so yesterday's episode got me thinking when you were talking about whether or not the movie Sunshine and how they go to the sun, which is dying, to help restart it. Sadly, while it makes for a very good movie, it it's not super realistic. So the sun will eventually start dying out when it runs out of hydrogen in its core to burn. And at that point, the sun will start expanding and its gravitational pull on the planets will start to kind of loosen a little bit. And where the planet Earth exists will kind of cease to be a Goldilocks zone, and eventually it could either actually get swallowed up by the sun and end in basically a fiery blaze of hell and glory, or maybe it escapes that fate. But essentially what will happen is that the Earth will, or the Goldilocks zone that surrounds the Earth will cease to exist, and Earth will become a bit more like Venus, which is kind of a barren hellscape. Anyway, I understand it's probably a bit weird that I'm calling in saying, well, actually, it's very typical scientist of me, but I just felt like I should weigh in on that. Thanks.
All right, cool. I appreciate that call a lot, and I'm glad Bobby remembered that we needed to play it here. But I've never heard of the Goldilocks zone before.
Oh, no, you haven't?
No, that's interesting.
No, the Goldilocks zone is a zone around a star in which, like, liquid water can exist on a planet,
like perfect conditions for life, right? Like
where potentially life could have. It's not as we know it. It should always be said, like, because we only have one example of life on a planet, right? So life as we know it, the Goldilocks zone is that zone around a planet where where liquid water could exist and where an atmosphere could maybe form.
Yeah, for the life we like you keep saying, as we know it. Like if you go to Venus. We don't know this yet, but maybe there's some weird life forms that can exist in that harsh atmosphere that we just haven't detected or seen or know or understand or whatever. Not necessarily aliens camp down there. It's not what I mean, but
Well, for a short time, it was later disconfirmed But for a short time, scientists were excited because they thought they detected signs of life in the upper atmosphere of Venus. So
what did it turn out to be?
They didn't know what it could be, but speculation was like some sort of bacteria maybe that was floating around.
Yeah, it's women come from Venus. I don't know what that means. Bacteria is important, is what I'm saying. It helps your gut. Let's go from that. Where do you want to take that call?
Well, the caller's totally right. And also, by the way, this person works at CERN in Switzerland. That's amazing, by the way. So that's
how cool is that, right? I know.
Yeah.
Listener at CERN.
But I just thought it was totally right what he was saying. I just thought it's interesting to talk about why it is that the sun would engulf the space where Earth is, and importantly, I like how specific he was that it's not necessarily that it will engulf Earth. That's a question mark, but it could easily engulf the space where Earth exists right now, because as the sun gets bigger, and this maybe is counterintuitive, but as the sun will get bigger, it will have less mass, and so because it has less mass, it has less gravitational influence on the things in the solar. So the orbit of Earth would theoretically go out, get larger, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why is really fascinating. So the way the sun works is that it fuses hydrogen atoms. Well, stars fuse elements, and it always starts with hydrogen. Fuses hydrogen into helium, right? Because of the pressures are so great in the core of the sun. But the core of the sun is very small compared to the overall size of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the fusion is happening, is in the core, because deep inside the center of the sun, the gravitational forces are very high. And so all those hydrogen atoms in there are getting smashed together, forced together at such a great pressure and temperature that they're able to fuse and form new elements like helium.
Right.
Now, the thing is, the gravity of the sun or a star is so great that all of these elements should get pushed all the way down into that small area, or at least a smaller area than you see the size of a star. Stars are very, very big. But the reason a star is the size that it is because all that fusion that happens, yes, it's pushing down pressure down into the core, but the fusion creates a massive amount of energy that also pushes out from the core. So it creates an equilibrium state that puffs the star out to its size that it is.
Okay.
Now, as hydrogen keeps getting burned, the fusion energy, the energy of all that fusion will eventually start to die out. There will not be enough hydrogen to create fusion pressure that will hold all that stuff out. Okay.
How many millions, billions of years are we talking from now?
I actually don't know the numbers, but you are talking about the order of billions.
Okay.
I think.
We're good then. We got this. We're fine.
No problem. This is all just theoretical.
I mean, my consciousness is going to be downloaded into a machine before I die, so potentially I will be around for it, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, your consciousness will be being used to help power the logic of the Dyson sphere that we build around.
Oh, nice.
Good. Oh, thank goodness.
Excellent. We'll be pumping little red cubes out of Brian. Is what we'll be doing.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yes.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
So what happens is the hydrogen fuel runs out, and that means there's no fusion happening. So there's no pressure pushing all that material out. So what happens is all that material that's getting pushed out is now able to collapse into the sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that more stuff is collapsing into the sun, now you have more things. Eventually, lots of stuff will start collapsing in, and you'll have enough stuff again to start creating more pressure, and more stuff will start fusing. And then what ends up happening is after all the hydrogen is done, helium starts to fuse. And when helium fuses, it actually creates more energy than when hydrogen fuses. So again, this is way in the future when this will start to happen. Helium will start to fuse into things like carbon and oxygen. But the energy that's produced from that is much higher than the energy that's produced from hydrogen. So, as you can imagine, since the energy is higher, that means the outward force is greater. And that's what causes the red giant to happen. That's why the sun will puff up into a much larger size, because once helium starts fusing, it'll push all the material on outside of the core out at a greater force. So it's like you're blowing, when you blow a balloon up and you blow harder into it, it'll make it larger. So
will this happen? What is the best case scenario for like the speed at which the unlivability happens? In other words, can let's say there's millions and billions of years from now, mankind has figured out a way to live in perfect peace with one another, and we're all doing great, and just renewable energy left and right, and we're all just awesome, right? And then the sun starts to take, a dive. None of this is immediate.
I see what you're saying. When the sun runs out of hydrogen, how long do we have?
Yeah, what is it, an immediate experience? Is it like suddenly life is snuffed out all in one breath, or is it a long process of it's getting colder and colder and colder, and then eventually everyone dies?
It's not immediate, but it's much faster than you might imagine. I'm talking about in the order of years, because from what I've read, once the sun will run out of hydrogen in phases. Okay, so all the hydrogen that's around the core is fusing a bunch of hydrogen. A lot of fusion is happening in this relatively small core, right?
Right.
But there's still a layer of hydrogen outside the core that is not close enough to the core to be burning, to be fusing.
Okay.
So what happens first is that core runs out of hydrogen, and then it collapses enough for that outer layer to get pushed into the core, and then it continues to fuse more hydrogen. And that actually happens a few times before all the hydrogen runs out. And from what I've read, I think it takes like a year or so. It'll take like a year or two for each of those layers to then burn off.
Okay.
So after that happens a few times, so if after a few years, all the hydrogen, after the initial depletion of the core, it'll take a few more years for the rest of the hydrogen to get burned out, and then it'll all be helium, and then that puffing out, I think, happens pretty quickly, but I don't have numbers on how quickly that happens.
That's interesting, because the movie Sunshine, which is what started all this conversation, that's how they do it. It's an over a few years kind of thing, where it's like much colder this year, much colder that year. The light is basically a slow dimming of the sun as a heat source. Where things get ridiculous is going to launch a nuke into it to restart it, but but that's their idea, is that it's going to take, it's going to happen over time.
And to be a little bit more detail, each of those phases where the core collapses and then more hydrogen gets burned, I believe that each time that happens, the sun will get the volume of the sun will get a little bit bigger, because each of those shells that is outside the core actually has more volume than the initial core did. So, and that's just geometry. Like the layer outside the core just ends up having more volume just because of math.
Gotcha. Math.
And so I think it gets a little bit bigger each time, but not like a ton bigger. But all through this process, mass is being burned from the sun. So slowly over time, the sun will lose mass and have less gravity. But the sun is cooler when it puffs into a red giant. The temperature of the sun is cooler in that outer atmosphere, is cooler than it was than it is right now.
But we can't withstand that, though, right? Because it's going to mess up all the Goldilocks zone, as you called it. It's going to get all, as the caller called it, it's going to get all left up, whether it's cooler or hotter.
Yeah, I mean, when I say it's cooler, we're still talking about like thousands of degrees Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the sun, the surface of the sun, the outer atmosphere, I guess you could call it, of the sun is like 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. So, you could be half that temperature and it'll still burn your pizza,
Yeah, which, nobody wants burnt pizza.
Oh, gosh,
Although I do like it a little crispy, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I leave mine in for a little bit longer than the directions.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when they do it at a place, I appreciate it when my crust is a little not burnt,
I just
but
don't
just
want any soggy crust. You know, I've got a lot of toppings on there, a lot of moisture. I don't want a soggy crust.
Yeah, no
What's
soggy
your favorite
crust.
pizza topping?
Oh my gosh.
Mine?
Yeah.
Not Scott's. I don't care about Scott's.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit about mine.
Honestly, I like barbecue sauce, chicken, cilantro, red onion, and bacon. That's
a tasty sounding pizza.
That sounds all right.
Freaking amazing pizza. Yeah.
That sounds really good.
I'm
all mushrooms.
Make that at whatchamacallit? What's that place?
Oh, Mod. You could do that at Mod.
Mod Pizza. I can make that at Mod. Yeah.
I think it's called it begins with a T and it's not the Tristan. There's another one that is that.
I always make my own, but that's easy if I can just click a button.
It is one of their, or part of it is one of their ready-mades. I had cilantro and red onion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their menu says it's called not the Mad Dog. That's what I always have. Tristan. It is the Tristan.
It is the Tristan. Hilarious. Okay.
Tristan.
Must have been why you tried it.
Tristan. Mozzarella is Asiago, roasted red peppers, mushrooms, and pesto. That's not the one though.
No, that's not anything like what I just described.
No. I mean, it's called the Tristan.
I knew there was the one called the Tristan.
Oh, the Caspian. The Caspian.
Caspian. That's it.
Caspian. Mozzarella, gorgonzola, barbecue chicken, barbecue sauce, sliced red onions. Yeah.
And then I add cilantro and bacon to that.
I do I'll do anything just cover it in mushrooms. Don't care what it is. Just want mushrooms.
My 6-year-old loves mushrooms, so. She's 7 now. Oh, don't tell her.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. I'm with your 7-year-old. Mushrooms are the best. I love them. You can put them on anything. Yep. I had a burger the other day. It's kind of like this. You make your own. Well, they give you the burger, and then you go and just do all your toppings, and I just load it up on a big stack of sautéed mushrooms.
It's good to have one person in the because none of the rest of us like mushrooms. It's good to have one person who likes them. It's like you got to have one person in your household that likes black licorice. You know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you never like that person. Yeah. Ooh, Brian, I have some that I need to get rid of. I hate it.
Oh, great. It's not that salted monkey garbage, is
No, not that.
Okay. Remember the listener sent us that salted monkey black licorice and is like, oh, this is horrendous.
That was the worst thing I'm trying to think of all the stuff we've tasted on air, not counting Nerdtacular's freaking rancid soda yogurt.
The yogurt soda, right.
I think that black licorice might be the worst thing I ever ate on here.
It was one of them, sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's got to be whatever made me go, oh, like the yogurt or the thickened liquid.
Thickened liquid, yeah. I saw some of that at the hospital the other day. Was going. We had to go there for reasons. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But we saw they had a whole tray of thickened liquids that were going around to different rooms, and I thought of you. You know.
Thank you for thinking of me for that.
Well, I know how much you like a nice oozy orange juice.
Listen, a milkshake is the only thickened liquid that I am all in favor of.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right. Well, this is very fascinating, and if you would like to know more about our sun or many other topics of scientific interest, you'll find them at All Around Science. Bobby, what's the latest over there?
Well, on All Around Science, we just recorded a bunch of episodes yesterday, actually, because we're getting ready for Viva TMS Vegas. I'm not going to be there, right? Mm-hmm. So have to get stuff done ahead of time. But the episode that came out, yesterday, was about. I'm trying to remember. It's about domestication. We were talking about. There's a story that just recently came out that some scientists have figured out that it's very possible that modern day elephants, were not domesticated by humans. In fact, they domesticated themselves.
What?
Which is pretty fascinating. I had no idea that self-domestication was even a thing until I read that. So I dug deep into it and talked all about it on our episode yesterday. So to give you some context, humans have actually self-domesticated, and also bonobos are a monkey that is self-domesticated.
Oh, I love a good bonobo.
Elephants also.
Bonobos are the ones that get ripped, right? They're all like muscular as hell.
The bonobos are the ones that are real chill and love to have sex.
Oh, they're the whoop, 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 whoop. That's those with the whoop, the way they make their sound, right? Hold on,
maybe. I'm not.
No, they look like chimpanzees. They're the.
Are they the
they're
buff
often
ones?
compared to chimpanzees all the time whenever you're talking about how they are different than other.
Oh yeah, here we
animals.
go. Yeah, some of the males are just ripped. Like, look at this guy.
It's funny though because they don't fight. They're famously like very calm and don't and get along very well and everything. So
I think it's because part of it is that one of those newer Planet of the Apes movies, they had a bonobo in there that was just a badass, and I think it just stuck with me.
All right,
because he was cool. He was the one with no hair. I don't remember his name. Those movies are great. I've been a little tempted to rewatch all of those recent 3 ones because I really like those.
Wasn't that Mark Wahlberg?
No, that was
the one with no hair.
No, the one with no hair. Yeah,
the jacked one with no hair.
Yeah, he's like, what? I think I saw a chimpanzee.
I think I saw a bonobo.
Yep. Well, Bill,
say hello to your bonobo for me.
It's always a pleasure to hang and talk and all that. We'll have one more of these together before we see you in Vegas. Are you excited?
I am super excited about Vegas. You just called me Bill again, which will.
I did?
If Bill does come, if Bill comes to Vegas, that's going to be really confusing.
Why do I keep doing that? Why do I keep
have to get name
doing
tags
that?
for you two.
I know we are.
Why is Bill and Bobby so effed in my head? I don't understand it. I got to figure this out. I'm going in for help. I got to get real help on the Bill and Bobby split, you know?
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll just keep calling you on it every time until you stop.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope you have a great week and that all things science come your way. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Shit. Hold on 1 second. I just closed the entire thing. What I meant to just do was kick Bobby out of the call, but instead I kicked everybody out of the call. There we go. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
I don't know how that happened. Let's get rid of him there. All right. That was stupid. All right. Command Q when I should have Command W.
I was going to say, you do know how that happened. I can guess how that happened.
That's
Because
exactly.
I was stuck in the channel with Bobby still.
Exactly
like,
what
hey,
happened.
Bobby, with you and me still.
Oops. All right. That's it for that. Let's get out of here on a quick, this is an email or a text. I think it might be a text. This is from Nikki. Not sure it's our Nikki. Maybe. Might be.
Well, she spells her name like Dr. Nikki.
Yeah, this might be her. If it is, that's even better.
Nikki Ackermans.
It seems like something she would write in about. But anyway.
Totally does.
Says, hi, guys. In case you were wondering, AI-generated images of animals also have creepy fingers. Someone gave a scientific talk at my university about mice, and I was impressed at how they had managed to get such precise and well-lit images of their mice doing experiments until I noticed they all had 9 fingers on each hand. Grow the no-yo, Nikki.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a telltale sign. Patrick this morning put up some picture of, I don't know what it was, somebody performing on a stage, Japanese performer or something. Yeah. And they were beautiful images, really nicely colored and lit. And I could tell immediately they were AI, but they were nice. They looked nice. But then you zoom in, one of her hands is backwards. This hand's got 2 thumbs for some reason. She had her hair, which was supposed to be wispy, was like creating a beard, so her beard was going down her chin.
Oh, God. Weird. Okay.
It's like you just, as much as those things keep improving,
yeah,
there's still
some telltale signs that slip in every once in a while.
Yeah. And I would share it if I remembered it, but there's a link somewhere where a group of researchers decided that, hey, instead of using our AI tools to make a bunch of stuff, we're going to use ours to be a way to detect things that are AI generated, whether it's text, images, or whatever. I wish I remember the name of it, but it was very cool. You can run an image or a block of text through their system, and it will tell you with a percentage chance.
Real or fake.
Real or fake. So it'll be like 99% sure this is AI, and it will even tell you what tool they think it was made in, because these tools have these signature things, and it was great.
Really?
That actually made me really happy, because it just felt like there hasn't been a lot of equilibrium to this massive explosion, this gold rush on AI, and it's nice to see somebody say, hey, what if we had a way to, like, make sure that definitely wasn't Trump being tackled by cops in that picture, or that wasn't, the Pope in his stupid rapper coat or whatever, which is the one that fooled everybody. Anyway, I'll try to find it and share it. I don't know where I saw that. Okay, that's it for that. Thanks for that message. We appreciate it. Tonight, you can catch me and John Jagger continue our playthrough, part 3, in fact, of our Resident Evil 4 remake playthrough. That'll be tonight on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/frogpants, or later on YouTube. So that series continues and will continue until we're done with it. So check that out each and every Tuesday night from 3 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon, Mountain Time. Brian, you got anything coming up or going out today or anything?
No, there will be a soundography going up this week. I can't remember who it is, but it'll be a good one. Might be, I don't know if we've posted the Shania episode yet or if we haven't, but that could be could be Shania.
Shania
Nope,
Twain.
looks like we have post. Oh, the. One of my favorite bands from the 90s, 80s, late 80s and 90s, and today, a band called The. Horrible SEO, great band.
Yeah, I agree. Shania Twain having a moment here, I guess. She's having some comeback stuff going on.
Yeah, she had a brand new album that came out that was really, really good. She's dropped that horrible mutt husband of hers. Well, she did that a while back, but...
Yeah, that's good. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
And she looks
Who
great.
cheats
Look at
on
her.
Shania Twain? Honestly.
Yep. And she looks great.
She does.
She looks lovely at her age.
And her singing, she still sounds amazing.
I feel like a woman. That's her, right?
That's her.
Okay.
Yes. That and that don't impress me much and that sort of thing. Anyway.
Yeah, there it is. All right, check it out. Soundography, wherever you get your podcasts. That's going to do it for today. Go support us at patreon.com/TMS. And if you're looking for links to all our other tomfoolery, you'll find it at frogpants.com/TMS. Hey, Brian, play music, please.
I will do that. Jim from Northern California wrote in and said, "Hi, birthday and suit. Jim from Northern California here. On Wednesday, tomorrow, April 12th, I'll be turning the uninteresting age of 56. Oh, I'm taking the day off of work and going for a bike ride and maybe see a movie if something interesting is out. I'm requesting a cover of or by Authority Zero. I'd never heard of this band until Mr. Coverville played one of their songs on TMS. Really enjoyed the song, so I went and listened to their whole discography on Amazon Music, and I really like their music. Scott, play a random sound clip here.
All right, well, first you get this.
Let's party!
How do you not get that, right?
Yeah, that's a requirement, sure.
And then here's I don't know what this is.
Smoke weed every day.
There's your random. That's your
Nice,
random.
that's a good random one. Signed Jim. P.S. You should come out to San Francisco next January for SF Sketchfest. Have some live shows, meetups. I'll be retired and happy to help. So
Sketchfest is
Scott.
like a, what is that, like comedy sketch type thing?
It's for it's a thing where things are kind of sus. You show there's it's a little sketch.
Oh, it's a
here
little
at Sketchfest.
sketchy. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It is a comedy.
I'm assuming it's a drawing. It is. It is a comedy festival.
Comedy
I was thinking
festival.
It was
I thought it'd be
It
art
was an
too. It
art
sounded
thing.
like art. Plus, they have a whole thing about Bill Plimpton on the top. But
I love Bill Plimpton.
But I think what they're saying is he's just part
Yeah.
of this. Huh. That's cool.
It's a comedy deal.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
Comedy deal. All right. Anyway, so Authority Zero. Happy to play another song by Authority Zero. This is one I have not played before from their album Andiamo from 2004. Here's their cover of Wall of Voodoo's Mexican Radio.
If you like what you just heard, there's a very good chance you will like all the shows on the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
I see you're drinking 1%. Is that because you think you're fat?
Oh, man. Easy there, John Heater.
Oh,